he put the icing on the cake, as it were. Well, I won't labour the point. I think the visit to Angola made by the Princess was a landmark on this very long road that lies ahead of us. Princess of Wales is here today to give her impressions of that trip and some reflections arising from it. She is tremendously welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Diana, Princess of Wales.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must begin by saying how warmly I welcome this conference on landmines, convened by the Mines Advisory Group and the Landmine Survivors Network. It is so welcome because the world is too little aware of the waste of life, limb, and land which anti-personnel landmines are causing amongst some of the poorest people on Earth. Indeed, until my journey to Angola earlier this year, of which I'm going to speak this morning, I was largely unaware of it too. For the mine is a stealthy killer. Long after conflict is ended, its innocent victims die or are wounded singly in countries of which we hear little. Their lonely fate is never reported. The world, with its many other preoccupations, remains largely unmoved by a death roll of something like 800 people every month, many of them women and children. Those who are not killed outright, and they number around 1,200 a month, suffer terrible injuries and are handicapped for life. I went to Angola earlier this year in January with the British Red Cross, a country where there are 15 million landmines in a population, ladies and gentlemen, of 10 million, with a desire of drawing world attention to this vital but hitherto largely neglected issue. Some people chose to interpret my visit as a political statement, but it was not. I am not a political figure, and as I said at the time, and I'd like to reiterate now, my interests are humanitarian. That is why I felt drawn to this human tragedy. That is why I wanted to play my part in working towards a worldwide ban on these weapons. During my days in Angola, I saw at first hand three aspects of this scourge. In the hospitals of Luanda, the capital, and Huambo, seen a bitter fighting not long ago, I visited some of the mine victims who had survived and saw their injuries. I'm not going to describe them because in my experience it turns too many people away from the subject. Suffice to say that when you look at the mangled bodies of some of the children caught by these mines, you marvel at their survival. What is so cruel about these injuries is that they are almost invariably suffered where medical resources are scarce. I observe for myself some of the obstacles to improving medical care in most of these hospitals. Often, there is a chronic shortage of medicine, of painkillers, even of anesthetics. Surgeons constantly engaged in amputating shattered limbs never have all the facilities we'd expect to see here. So the human pain that has to be borne is often beyond imagining. This emergency medical care, moreover, is only the first step back to a sort of life. For those whose living is the land, loss of an arm or leg is an overwhelming handicap which lasts for life. I saw the fine work being done by the Red Cross and other agencies to replace lost limbs, but making and fitting prostheses is a costly as well as a complicated business,